Hello, this is Clinton, and welcome to Black Atlantic. We are a podcast and media channel bringing Black East Coast voices to the world. This week, we have the pleasure of interviewing Demilola Agbiaka from Dalas African Cuisine. I'm always tempted to tell a little bit about what the business is, but I'll let Demilola say that for herself. Hillary will be popping in to join us any minute now, and thank you. Let's get into the show. So before we start, I just want to say our podcast is weekly with guests or topics, and you can find us anywhere on the internet by searching Black Atlantic. So if you're watching us on YouTube, we really appreciate that. Hit subscribe and hit that like button right now. Most of our listeners are still on like the traditional audio podcast, and we love y'all. So just make sure you like or give a rating, follow us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your audio, and you can always contact us as well at blackatlantic.ca. So, Demilola, good evening and welcome to the show. How are you?
Good evening, Clinton. I'm good. Thank you for asking. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to have you on. Like I was saying before we hit record, I heard about the restaurant during COVID, and I haven't been out yet. But just now that I have you on the show, I know that I'm gonna go by like this week or the weekend, and I'm really looking forward to it. I was looking through your menu and all the different foods you offer. Well, there I go again, telling the people who you are and what you do. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
well. I'm well, but I will say that I first saw you in person at the Black Excellence Awards that took place during Black History Month, and congratulations on winning that award.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But so, welcome to Black Atlantic, and I was wondering if you could start by like introducing yourself to us, telling us a little bit about your journey and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Damilola Agbabiaka. You can call me Dami. I know that's easy and convenient. And I'm from Nigeria in West Africa, and
Hmm.
I'm the first of three children. I had my education, the first degree and master's in Nigeria before uh, transitioning to Canada in 2018. So I came in with my family. I have a boy and a girl, and yeah, so we've been here since 2018, and we've been doing good and happy with New Brunswick and Mountain in particular. So yeah, that's who I am, and yeah, I'm glad to be here tonight.
Wow, wow. So you came here in 2018 with your son and your daughter, and it sounds like you had a pretty good established life over there in Nigeria. I don't know if I'm guessing there. We've interviewed a few guests from Nigeria before. We know that Nigeria is a country in Africa full of about 200 different cultures or so, and multiple languages. It's culture similar to, I think, like my father's culture and where my father is from, Jamaica, where it's just really about culture and fun and happiness and dance and good food. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, correct.
Perfect.
Nigeria is a mixed place with different cultures, different languages, several foods, and it's a fun place to be, and it's a fast-paced environment. It's not as quiet as mountain. It's not
No,
as everybody's in a hurry trying to get something done. So
but
yeah.
it takes a while to get places, right? Because of the traffic. Well, were you from? Are
Oh,
you from Lagos or?
oh my goodness. I lived in Lagos after my first degree, and
Mhm.
I was I was working on there's a place called the Island, like the Lagos Island. I was living on the mainland, and I do leave home at about 5 a.m. to get to work for 8 a.m. And when you close at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., you don't get home until about 8 or 9. That's
Yeah.
because the traffic is amazing. Let me say crazy.
That's horrible. I grew up in Toronto, and the traffic is really bad there. People make jokes about the 401 all the time. You could spend 2 or 3 hours on it, but I don't think
Yeah.
it's anything as bad as Lagos. I was lucky enough to go to Egypt back about 7 years ago, and the traffic there is insane as well. You could just spend a whole day on the highway, and
on
it's
the
horrible.
highway.
But
Mhm.
for our listeners who are watching us visually, so Lagos is kind of in West Africa, near Ghana and Cameroon. And yeah, there's a lot of Nigerians in Moncton and in New Brunswick, and then the population is growing. Are you a member of the Nigerian Association of New Brunswick?
Yes.
Okay, okay, fantastic.
Mhm.
How do I end the stream there? Yeah, so I don't know if you know people like Job or Cliff, and of course there's a videographer who came from Nigeria, probably around the same time as you, named Anyakin, living down in Fredericton. I'm not sure if you've met him
No, I
through the
know people like Olaitan. Uh,
Oleatan, yeah, yeah, from the
yeah,
BBPN, yeah.
yes, and then uh, the president Bayo,
Yes,
and yeah. So I think those are the most active people that I know. That I know. Um, uh, yeah, those are the people I know. The other people are like my friends, my regular friends. They're not. I don't think they go around to meet other
no doubt.
people.
Okay.
That
Well,
close.
I have a deep interest in Nigeria because my father did a DNA test years ago, and people who have a longer history here in the Americas, we don't exactly necessarily know where we're from, but with the DNA test came back, it was pretty guaranteed that my heritage is from somewhere in Nigeria. Although, again, when I started to learn about Nigeria and all the different cultures and languages, I didn't feel too much closer, but a little bit closer. Anyways,
Okay.
hello,
Hi, brother. Welcome to
hello,
Nigeria.
how yo, yes, sister, yes. And welcome to Hillary. You made it.
Hey, I made
Hey,
it. Sorry, a little late,
amazing.
but here.
That's
And
okay.
it's so nice to see you, Jamie. I'm so excited to hear everything. Where are we at? Have we just learned about Nigeria in the background?
Yeah, yeah, we just really got started, and Demilola did a little bit of an intro. But so what did you do? What did you do when you first got here to Moncton?
Yeah, when I first got here to Mountain, the first thing I did was to like relax and rest for 1 month. That was the plan. The plan was I've been working for like 13 years in the bank. I've been doing a lot of late nights, and I'm like, when I get to Canada, I'm not doing anything for 1 month. So I actually we came in September, and I didn't work well last week of September, like on the 28th. So I didn't work the whole of October. Well, I came in with my husband, so it was quite
Okay,
easy. And so I didn't work the whole of October. So the last week of October, I did an interview and I got a job with the Royal Bank of
okay.
Canada. So that was the first job I did. Then thereafter, um, so the timing was not okay for me. I at that time I had not yet 2 year old, so I had to leave him at there was no daycare for him at that time because
Mm,
it wasn't yet two. So I had to look for like home daycares where I could put him in. And my shift was I think 4 p.m. like 3 p.m. up until like 12:30 at night. I mean midnight or 1 a.m. So at that period we were going to work. It wasn't like COVID, so everybody had to go to work. So and I was it wasn't very convenient for me leaving the young boy and my then 5 year old at someone's house, that late till like about midnight, past midnight, when my husband will be able to go pick them and myself. So I had to stop the. I requested for a change in shift, like
hmm.
maybe move it closer or swap with my husband or something, but it wasn't working. So it was like in Nigeria, well, yeah, crazy traffic, and coupled with some other things, I was still seeing them. But now I had to leave them outside with someone I don't know,
Yeah.
well, in the wee of the night. So I'm like, oh no, I can't do this. It was each time I'm at work, I kept thinking about them. Like, this boy is so small, he's so young. It should be home, not outside. So I had to quit. I left the job because I had to quit. Well, no EI for me. So I had to start
Yeah.
thinking of how to like get another job. And I was a payroll administrator back in Nigeria. That was the last, well, one of the last roles I did at the bank. So I thought about getting certified to going to school to do the payroll certification. So I applied to Eastern College. I was on a wait list. Then I started looking for another job. In that, while waiting for Eastern College, I got a job with UPS. So I was at UPS. So I was working with them when someone called me from Eastern College, Anne, a lady called Anne, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, you can come in. There's an opening for the program. It's starting and the like." So I had to resign from there. I enjoyed the job at that time because it was the people were friendly, nice. They were all Canadians. I think I was the only black in my unit at that time, and it was a fun place to be. But I had to leave because my courses were clashing with it. I mean the work time. So I worked there. I left there, started Eastern College, did Eastern College for a year. Then while at towards the end of Eastern College, we had to do internship. So I got a spot with virtual bookkeeping. So I did bookkeeping, accounting, because the course I did was payroll and accounting. So I was happy I finished with this distinction. So I got a spot quickly with someone, and she after the internship she kept me, and I did that for a while. And before I started, I was already thinking of the restaurant thing. The idea was like, okay, we're going to come in to start like a food store. But when I got here, I noticed that Bolaji was doing that. Then there was Baobab, and so I was like, there are some other people doing this, and the
Hmm.
community is not that so. I mean, not so large. It was enough for the community. So I started thinking about the cooking of the food. There was no place to get the African food. I think there was Barakat, but it wasn't like Nigerian, West African kind of food. So, and yeah, I also worked with Citibank for a bit, and yeah, where else did I work? I think, yeah, I worked sometime at Tech Mahindra too.
Oh
I've worked,
wow.
I worked in a couple of places. Yeah,
You did a
so
lot of things before and you still haven't really told the listeners the that's great backstory, but we still haven't really told the listeners the thing that you did eventually. So after working all those jobs, what what did you start?
yeah, for the restaurant. Oh, yeah, the journey for the restaurant. I started that. Um, I started. I did register. I was at RBC when I did register the business.
Okay.
But I didn't do anything with it. It was good. Well, I did something with it. I won't say I didn't do anything. Before registering, I was cooking at the commercial kitchen. There's a place called Medavi Kitchen. I did cook there for a bit. But before starting there, the first food we did is called asun. Myself and my husband, we were home, and he said, "Oh, it's been a while that we had asun. We used to have it in Nigeria from, somewhere around the house. And it was, it's been a long time. Asun is goat meat. I mean, diced and spicy with onions and some chili and the like. So it was like it's been a long time. Now we can actually, if he wants to buy the goat meat, we bought the goat meat, we prepped it, cooked it, and it came out very nice. Wow, yeah, it looks like that guy's on on the street. It's so nice. It's good. You can actually start selling this, and yeah, and there's no place where you can get that. So we told a couple of friends. They tried it. They're like, this is good. Like the Nigerian, we would say, yeah, what's about you? It was good. So we started gradually like that. And I'm like, okay, before you can actually cook, you need to get the certification. You need to be licensed to have the food handler certificate. So I did
Hmm.
that, and I started going to the commercial kitchen to cook if people ask for food. I cooked there.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I was working, I was doing that, and it went on like that until 2021 when we started looking for a spot and we found a place on Louisville Road. So we operated there for a bit for 1 month from April 21st up until last week in May. We had to leave. And why did we leave? The owner of the property, well, the place where we were using was not fire rated. So
Okay.
the fire marshal came and said, "Oh no, you guys cannot cook here. You can't continue here. You have to move. You have to leave." The owner had to refund us, or the man had to spend about 100,000 to fix the place, make the place fire rated, and but the man said, "Oh no, he can't do that." At that time, it was too expensive for him, so he refunded the rent to us, and we had to move, and we stopped. So that made me go back to work at that time. So we started looking for a new place.
Oh wow.
We didn't find any. It was in the middle of COVID when all that happened. So we didn't find any new spots. We searched and searched. Some places said, "Oh no, they wanted uh, organizations, restaurants with a name." Like the Tim Hortons, McDonald's. They don't know us. They don't know who we are. We're immigrants. They're not sure about the business. So that was one of the challenges we had. So we kept searching until we found a place last year, about I think February. And
Okay.
so we had to go into renovations and the lights, and we opened finally in June, last week of June last year. So
Well, that's amazing. So the name of your business is Dallas African Cuisine, and it's located in Moncton, down on 759 Main Street. Now, before we started the show, Damilola did let me know that her laptop was probably going to die, and when that happened, she was going to switch over to her phone. So, looks like any moment here, she should be coming back. And I feel like I somehow lost Hillary as well. But to our listeners, both audio and visual, yeah, so Dallas African
I didn't
Cuisine.
mean to also
Uh,
abandon you at the same time. I'm so sorry.
no worries. I'm going
I
to share the screen
accidentally
here.
swiped back and I just lost everything. And I was like, oh my
That's okay.
goodness.
That's okay. Over here feeling very abandoned today. But
It-
it's okay. I'm totally kidding. Um look at this. Look at the outside of this. And I'm not sure if Damilola will have any oh, banned from studio exit. I'm not sure if Damilola will have any pictures of the inside, and I'm more excited than ever to go check this place out now, to be honest. But so this is Dallas African Cuisine right on Main Street. I believe there used to be a pizzeria there. It's probably near the Tim's and everything. And yeah, it looks like a really
oh,
fun place to be.
yeah.
Um, and Demi Lola, Dallas African Cuisine, they also won an award during the Black Excellence Gala during the month of February, where you and I did did a podcast presentation.
Yes. Hosted by the Malakela Foundation.
Yeah, but
Yes.
so while we're waiting for Demi Lola to come
Sure.
back, welcome
I
back,
mean,
Hillary.
thank you. I mean, I can give some backstory as to how I've sort of heard about them. So of course, as we know, with my CBC Black Business feature, I've been scouring the web to find local Black businesses for Moncton and New Brunswick because I'm not there to find them myself. And I had seen them listed on Black Lives Matter New Brunswick's website. Yes, Maxwell, thank you for chiming in. So at the same time, By Black started their restaurant week that they started during the pandemic as a means to add like free marketing and give attention to Black businesses that needed it during the pandemic, that were suffering. The small businesses, as you know very well, were suffering.
Absolutely.
I can hear you typing.
Mhm.
So, anyway, long story short, I connected Matthew Martin to Roger Dundas of By Blacks. They asked to have some New Brunswick restaurant participation, and Dallas is, I believe, the only restaurant in New Brunswick that did say yes in the end. And so really excited to have New Brunswick participation, because By Blacks, while having an Ontario ownership and readership, they do want the restaurant week to be countrywide, and like have, you know, the help and support of all of the various Black business initiatives and networks and associations, and all of the what's the word I'm looking for? Like tourism associations as well. So like Discover Halifax amplified some of the Nova Scotian ones, et cetera, et cetera. So
Okay.
yeah, just a little tidbit about how I know about them.
That's amazing. I first heard
Yes.
about them through Instagram. Like they were running all kinds of campaigns and promotions for like discounts off meals or free meals, buy one get one free. And this was like African cuisine, and I was like, this is amazing. I need to go. The truth is, I don't go to eat a lot, and I keep repeating this. I feel so bad that I haven't been yet. Um, but then I started seeing that Dallas African Cuisine was doing night events, which I was like, wow, two black businesses putting together like events where you can go out at night and dance and listen to music and all of that. And before the show, Demi Lola told me they took a break for that over the winter, which makes obvious sense. And they're trying to get that back on the go. But this just looks like one wonderful restaurant. Their Instagram is doing great with close to 10,000 followers, lots of content, video of like amazing looking food. Um, Nigerian mostly, jollof and things like that. Let me get their website up here. And also let me check on the IG. Oh, what am I doing here? Well, it looks like Demi Lola's having a little bit of technical difficulty at the moment. But do you want to talk a little bit more about Restaurant Week in general, Hillary? You were out in Halifax, Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
facilitating and
So
doing some talks.
like I said, from my understanding, it started because of the pandemic, and I know there's several restaurants in Nova Scotia that are participating. But it started technically yesterday from when we were recording this. It started May 15th. It will run all the way through the weekend. I believe it'll be over after Sunday the 21st. And the you get three, like an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert for a prefix. And it has to have some kind of rebate. So I think it has to be 25% off what would you would normally get if you added all of those things together. So there is a deal for the customer. And the goal, on top of like Buy Black seeing it as a way to like encourage community and marketing, is also everyone's sort of hoping a great way to expose other people to different cultures and cuisines and food that maybe they haven't tried before. So when I was doing, the press talk in Halifax, or the media launch, I mainly, I asked some questions about allyship and stuff like that, because I think that it's important to recognize, especially with, I think, the East Coast restaurants, like, I don't know how many people have tried Nigerian food before. And I think, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I still lived there, I don't think a lot of my friends would have necessarily tried it. And I think that this restaurant week is a great way to allow white people to try foods that they've never tried before and expand their palates. And I say that, but like, all people, because up until I moved in with my dad, I didn't know what jollof rice was either. So I'm just as bad as anyone else who doesn't know, and there's no shame in not knowing. But yeah, you're on mute.
Yeah. I was basically saying you're not bad. You
Thank
know,
you,
it's
thank you,
it's
thank you.
yeah, well, like one thing we talked a lot about during like the height of, the intensity after George Floyd's murder was, I mean, there's intentional ignorance and unintentional ignorance. And the thing is, you know, one way to combat unintentional ignorance is exposure. And you growing up in New Brunswick, you didn't have a way to be exposed to
Yeah.
multiple cultures and multiple cultural foods. Now, I mean, I'd never had Nigerian food until this year. Last year I don't think. And there's lots of similarities between Nigerian cooking and Jamaican cooking. But just taking a look at the website here, I mean, they've got jollof and yam and egg sauce. Again, that's similar to a certain Jamaican dish. Rice and ofada, goat, peppered snail. Now, wow, I don't know if I would try that, although it's a delicacy in a lot of
You've never
places.
had escargot?
Okra soup. No, 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 no. I've been to
Oh,
lots of
oh,
fancy places, but I don't mess with the seafood. I don't mess with the snails and all of that
I will
stuff.
say that like snails are just they feel like a chewier mushroom. So if you can
Okay.
handle a texture of a mushroom, it's very, very similar because I don't eat seafood. It's not seafoody at all. It's very earthy and it is just like a gushy mushroom.
Cushy mushroom. Well, I'm
A
okay with
gushy,
mushrooms. I
a
eat them because I know
gushy
they're
mushroom.
healthy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the snail would be for me. Um,
I saw lots of them in Italy where I just was and
I,
helped them get across their little paths.
I mean, Lola, no worries. We'll be able to
Yeah.
cut out a big chunk of that middle. Welcome back. We're so happy that
Thank
you're
you.
back,
Thank
and
you.
we're so happy that it worked out.
I had to try Chrome.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
So you're back, and this is part of the technical difficulties that can happen, but we'll make it work. And yeah,
Yeah,
we
no
can.
worries.
I guess you were just at the point of, you got into your new location. You're on Main Street. Wild that you had to move after only 1 month, and I'd like to know what kind of costs were involved there. And why don't you tell us about like actually stepping foot in your new location on Main Street, what it was like and what it's been like.
Yeah. The new location on Main Street is an exciting location because it has a lot of leg traffic. In the heart of downtown with many people. During summer, it's amazing. You see a lot of tourists, people coming in from the States, from different parts of Canada on vacation, from the Caribbean, the different mix of different people coming in, and they're coming to try the food. They want to try something different. There's some of them that have tried the food before, maybe somewhere. Some people from Alberta, some people from Ontario. You know, those kind of people have tried the jollof rice. They've tried the pounded yam and egusi. So they want to try it again, and they're excited that they're seeing an African restaurant in this like small town, like small location, and they're like, oh yeah, so there's an African restaurant here. So anyway, it was stepping into that place. The place used to be a pizza, Piado pizza.
Mm-hmm.
So the settings were actually different from what we were planning to have. We were planning to have that African feel. We were looking at having a lot of cane, like basket kind of thing in the location. So we wanted it to feel like it was really African. We wanted the African map somewhere on on the glass, on the windows. So we had to just do some renovations, get some things in that will make it look African. And that was what we did before starting. So after putting that in place, it was cool and it was okay. The cost was, yeah, talking about the cost, you talked about the cost. The cost to do that it wasn't just me, you
It's a
know.
lot. Yeah. It's okay.
my, 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 my,
I'm not asking what the cost was. I just imagine it
yeah.
must have been crazy having to move from one location
Yeah,
to
so
the
it
other.
was myself, my husband, my mom, my
Yeah.
brother. So everybody came together to uh, make the dream a reality. And that's the joy of having people around, people that believe in your dreams, people that believe in what you're doing, you know. So
It's
that's it.
beautiful.
And yeah.
And again, to those watching on YouTube, so this is the interior here. Can you see the video, Demi Lola, or no?
Yeah, I can.
That's the interior right there. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That really is.
Well,
Hillary?
I had wondered for so long what had happened to Piatto Pizza, and I also have answers to all my questions. Thank you for this information. That's so exciting. That's so wonderful. And I was saying while you were figuring out your technical difficulties, which absolutely no worries. I was saying how that had it not been for the By Blacks Restaurant Week, I wouldn't have necessarily known everything about you and your wonderful restaurant, but also the fact that, like, I think Buy Black's Restaurant Week and endeavors like that encourage people who, like you were saying before, maybe aren't familiar with Nigerian food to try something different and try something new. And I'm curious because I know the landscape of Main Street, like my brain immediately goes to like Tide and Boar, Mexicali Rosas, Irish pub food, and then there's you that must really stand out. And I'm curious, are you finding that, you know, your customer base is a wide variety of groups and people and colors that are interested in trying new things, or are you having more of a recurring customer base that's, you know, they know what they're getting into and they're already sold on what they're getting at Dalas?
Yeah, actually, it's a mix of different people, you know. It's not just the African community. It's amazing that you see people like, I mean, Canadians, Indians coming in to try pounded yam and egusi, and I'm like, They come in and they know what they're coming to ask for. They say, I want pounded yam, you know, I want fufu. Let's call it fufu. I want fufu and the egusi soup. Apparently, I think a couple of people have seen this on TikTok. There was a TikTok that went viral some time ago about there's this Nigerian guy, Igbo guy, with an American lady, and they do have, I think they have like a blog or a TikTok account, and they do try different food. And the guy always, I mean, is always trying the Nigerian food with the girl. So a lot of people did see that, and when they're coming in, they're like, I want to try the fufu. The fufu, I'm like, the pounded yam. I don't know what it is, but you know, fufu and egusi. And I'm like, okay, no problem. You're gonna have that. And when they try it, you're surprised that they finish it. And I'm like, so you know, it's a mix of different people, not just the Africans, not just Black people, but variety of people, Canadians, Asians, Indians, people from all walks of life have been into Dallas to try something different, something new they've never tried before. Some, I mean, some do try spicy. They're like, we had a customer like 2 days ago. He's Canadian, the girlfriend is Vietnamese, and the guy was the one that wanted spicy. And I did the spicy to I didn't want to scare them. I didn't want him to try the food and turn red and say, oh no, I can't eat this. And you'll be surprised that when it was served, he said, this is not spicy. This is not spicy. I'm like, really?
Okay.
So
people are learning about African cuisine through Dallas African cuisine, but you're also learning about people, aren't you?
Exactly.
You're breaking down some of your stereotypes of what people might like or what they can handle.
Exactly.
It's a synergy. It's a hybrid learning experience. That's amazing. And now fufu is like a dough. It's like a dough bread.
Exactly.
Like a sweet, sticky one that you used to dip into your soup or to eat. Is there a dish? It's sort of like a yellow, not like a fruit, but a grainy yellow dish as well that is very popular with fufu.
Couscous?
No.
Couscous is
Mediterranean, I believe.
No, we even serve couscous. That's it. You know,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, we do
say Senegalese people.
Yeah, we
all
serve.
The time.
Yeah, we serve couscous. Couscous is not really Nigerian, but we have like 3 different other meals that is not like Nigerian food that we do serve. Couscous is one of them. Banku is another one that's from Ghana, and we do serve acheke. Acheke is from, I think, I do see people from maybe Congo or Togo or some other African countries that do look for acheke, and I never used to eat it, but you know, when you try them, you like them, and you're like, yeah, acheke. It's not Nigerian, but I tried it and it's not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, because I do make it for them now. So
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. So the soup you're asking for, there are a couple of soups that you can use with your fufu. There's the egusi soup. That's the melon seed, the one that looks like egg. Some people say it's. Do ask us if it's egg that has been beaten into the food, like maybe with scrambled eggs. It looks like egg, but it's not egg. It's yellow with some veggies. Then there's another one called eforiro. That is like you can use spinach for that. The green is just green. Then there are some draw soup like okra. the okra soup,
Yeah.
and there's ogbono soup. Then there's so many other from, Nigeria has different tribes. We have three tribes: Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. So most of our soup is majorly Yoruba. So there are some soup from the eastern part of Nigeria, like Ofensala, uh, Ofe. They have different types of soup, and the northerners, they have their own soup too. So, but the Yoruba
Okay.
ones that I cook or that we do majorly, we have ogbono soup, okra soup, um, ewedu, the green one, like that molokai leaf, um,
Yeah.
egusi, and ogbono. We have all those ones, yeah.
How popular is the peppered snail?
Um, it's popular amongst Nigerians. Then I
Okay.
do see that the French-speaking Canadians, I do see that they like things like gizzard, snail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, the French. I mean, the French-speaking part.
Yeah.
They are the ones that I do see when they come in. They do ask for things like they are willing to try the
Yeah.
gizzard. They are willing to try the snail, and yeah. So it's
Well,
not really popular amongst everybody, but I've seen like a few people coming to ask for it. But the Nigerians do like it.
well, Clinton, when I go home,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
let's
we
do
should
that.
try it.
I'll be going. I'm going by before you get back on the next trip. I'm going by probably by
Okay,
the weekend or something. But
amazing. Well, and
so
I was going to
nope.
ask briefly, if you don't mind, just speaking of this weekend, and like, again, part of the reason why I've gotten to learn so much about you is the Buy Blacks Restaurant Week. And we're airing this in time for people to go and get whatever amazing deal that you have. And I hope that Clinton goes and partakes. And since we just saw all the wonderful food, I want to give you a second to plug what is the deal and the offer that you're offering for people for this like week only. And I think it's only till Sunday, right? The Sunday the 17th, not the 17th. That's not the Monday.
No, the 25th,
Yeah, I was like,
I
that's
think.
that's tomorrow.
Mm,
The 21st.
yeah.
Yes. Perfect. So what is the prefix and the deal that you are offering to anyone who wants to go in this weekend?
The deal is a puff puff, jollof rice with plantain, either chicken, beef, or fish. I mean, the jollof rice comes with two protein. Then the pepper soup.
Mhm.
Yeah. So and
Amazing.
that comes with for I think 55 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a good deal. Clinton,
So
gotta go.
yeah, Clinton, we're waiting for you.
Clinton, you're on mute still. Clinton, you're on mute.
It's Clinton's turn.
Darn
See,
it,
everyone's
I'm
gonna
on
have a
mute.
problem.
I pulled up the website. I was looking at the amazing looking food here: goat meat, pepper soup, the jollof rice, plantain, and two protein, chicken, beef for rice, and the puff puff dessert. So that's a pretty nicely priced meal for two. Is this a photo of the actual? Yeah, I think this is. There's a
Yeah,
plantain and meat.
that's
Meat
the
of
jollof
choice.
rice.
So that
Yeah,
looks good. Yeah. So we could post that on our page, and listeners hearing this on Thursday, you have a couple days to run over and pick
yeah,
something up if you're in the Moncton area. But yeah, that's a great promotion that Buy Blacks has going on, and I hope these restaurants are really benefiting from it. Um, Running a
yeah.
restaurant can be a challenge too, right? You want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about like what are some of the obstacles you faced as a business owner? You know, new-ish to New Brunswick, particularly possibly as as Black community members in Atlantic Canada, or just business. I know you have a payroll and accounting background, but as a business owner, you have to wear so many different hats, literally.
Mm-hmm.
What's been some of your biggest challenges and some of your biggest successes so far?
And the biggest challenge will be learning the culture, knowing the people around, especially the Canadians, what they want, the way they react to things, uh, understand them and understand how you can have them come in to try what you're doing or what you're serving or what you're offering, so to speak. Like the summer is here now, everybody wants to go out. They want to stay outside. They want to, I mean, sit out and dine outside. That's something that it's new here. It's to us. It's not something that I know that they like to sit down outside in the sun and have I mean, their beer, their food.
Really?
It's a strength thing. It's a new thing here for me, because when I was working, I just go to work and go back home. When I go to the restaurant, maybe I just go in to eat and I'm out. But running a restaurant or owning a restaurant made me to understand that once summer is coming, then you have to be ready to have a space outside, a patio where they can
Mhm.
sit. It's something that they like to have. Then the other challenge will be getting people to work with you, getting them to understand how things are meant to be done. You need to train them, you need to let them understand the recipe. Uh, you can't live without, because it's like it's a small business, like a startup business. You need a laid down recipe just to make sure that the food tastes the same every time. It doesn't taste different. It's not like pre, like prepackaged. You get the burger out, you get the bread out. It's been made already the same way every day. Just get the chicken, put it in, put the lettuce, it's not like that. There's a way that it's meant to be prepared. So that's like a challenge. Then getting your sleep. You're the only one that you do the cooking, you do the serving, I mean, you're the server, you're the bartender, you're the one to receive the money. Once they're done, you're the cashier, you're the accountant, you do everything. You're the one to order the food, the raw food items. You do the cooking, and you just have to make sure everything you do the all you have to make sure that you all the regulatory bodies are, I mean, everything is up to date. They're on your
Yes.
neck. Everybody's, I mean, it's like everybody's after you.
There's a lot of
So
yeah, there's a lot of red tape and regulations here for sure.
mhm.
I'm curious just because I don't and maybe you mentioned it before I was here, but how many people make up your staff and your team? And I know historically what I found in interviewing Black business owners and Black restaurateurs is it is a family operation. It's the kids are the ones cooking, and it's the parents who are running the place, and I love that. I think that that's amazing. It's legacy building, and it's great. But I'm curious, like, who makes up your team at Dallas?
Myself, my mom, um, sometimes my husband. Uh, when we started, actually, everybody was there. My brother, my brother-in-law, my husband, my mom. It was everybody that was there. So, but now myself, my mom, and like three other people that come on, I mean, they're on part-time, but they come and go sometimes. When we have like high traffic, they come in like weekends. I do have them coming. Then sometimes when I know that, I just started that because I need to, like, take some things off my neck, rest a bit, I mean, try and sort some other things out. So I found a lady that's amazing. She's from Zimbabwe, and she's so amazing. She's cooked before somewhere in Zimbabwe and South Africa, I think. So she knows how to do some of those meals, the Nigerian meals. So she can prep some things. I can go ahead to complete it. It's getting things easier as you try and take some things off. So it's
Yeah.
just me, those two or three that coming around, and my mom for now. So, yeah. And
Okay.
when it's very busy, sometimes my brother, like when we have those night events, my brother is an hype guy. He knows how to hype, so he comes in to do MC and hype the people at night. Then sometimes he does bartending. Sometimes my husband does the bartending too. We all had to take the what's it called now?
Ships.
Responsible server training. So
Hmm.
everybody. Sometimes my husband does the serving with the bar to bartend, coupled with some other girls during those events, and sometimes my brother too does it. So, and myself too. I had to take that training too.
Uh,
Well,
so
it sounds like you're making it work. I mean, only 2 years in, there's definitely good stories. You're having tourists stopping in. You're on Main Street, which is really helpful. I was in food and beverage myself for about 15 years, and I know how many different things that have to be balanced literally all at the same time, and especially with cooking.
yeah.
Cooking at home for family is not the same as trying to cook for
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
different tables and have everything timed right, and be pulling things out of ovens and counters and
Yeah.
trays, putting everything out. um, but we're definitely wishing you the best with all that, and I'm not kidding when I'm saying I'm gonna be there super soon,
Yeah.
probably before the end of this promo. Um,
I had Lily, you know Lily?
yep, Lily
The
Lynch, absolutely.
Yeah, I had her come in sometime. I think it was maybe last month. Yeah, she stopped by, and I was like, "Oh, good to have you here."
Amazing. And yeah, that's really amazing. For your night events, like, is it an African community that comes out, Nigerian? Are you getting a mix of other people? I know you didn't do it throughout the winter and you did it last year, but what was that like? Because it was really neat to hear about night events going on as well. I don't live in Moncton anymore. I'm about just over half hour away, but
Okay.
I plan to be in the city a lot more.
Yeah, that was actually it was fun having people come in and dance to the African rhythm, to the African songs. It's surprising when they hear the beats and they just come in and they're like, "Whoo, whoo," like they're happy to hear the African song and like Canadians. I'm like, so you like the song? There was a particular lady that came in and she was singing one of the artist's songs word for word, and I was surprised, like, wow, you know the song. So it was fun. It was a mix of different people, the African community, not just Nigerians, Black people, Canadians. Then during the Halloween period, we also had a lot of people come in. We had Asians come in. Uh, it was fun because we all, we had DJs that do come in at different days, on different weekends, and we were also trying to create events around those times and around some seasons just to make it more fun. But it was majorly African songs, and we had a DJ Jose, that was trying to bring in the Latino kind
Hmm.
of music. So it was fun. And in December, we had the silent disco. That was like the biggest that we had. Everybody with their earphones with different colors. People passing by wouldn't hear the music, but it was crazy inside. You see people dancing, and you're wondering what are they dancing to. It was fun. That was the first in Moncton I heard. That's never been done. I think it's been done in Halifax before, and that was the first here in Moncton. I we're hoping to do that again, to repeat the same thing again this year, maybe during the
Beautiful,
summer and maybe sometime in December again.
Well,
beautiful.
if you can get one going in July, I'll try. I'll pull up to that. Clinton, you go this weekend. I'll go in July for the
Yep.
silent disco, and people will see my afro bumping in the window, but they won't hear anything, and then they'll come in because they'll be so curious. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I am curious. So since you mentioned, wanting, to bring those night events back, like if you have any other plans looking forward for the future of Dallas as a business, and plans for yourselves in the future as well, and if what else you might say, you hope that this does for the Moncton community, especially as I mentioned, being one of I'll say few restaurants like yourselves on Main Street, and that growth.
Yeah, what I'm hoping to see happen in Moncton is uh, everybody, irrespective of your color, your nationality, come together. And see food as something, or a unique thing that brings you together to create oneness. Without discrimination, without uh, fear of favor, just for everybody to come together and say, okay, I can be here and be comfortable. I can go in there and I'm accepted. It's not because I'm black, it's not because I'm white, it's not because I'm this or that, I'm tall or short. It's not because I've never tasted the food before, but everybody should come together. Food should bring us together and let us have a better communication amongst everybody, irrespective of your color or your race. And also for myself, I'm looking at making, I'm looking forward to having an environment where people come in and, they have their food out in like 3, 5 minutes. I know it's not very easy because of the kind of food that we do, but I also do know that people want very fast service. They want to have the food and be out of the place. And it's also brings in more income and revenue for the business. If you can, if 20, 30, 40, 100 people can come in and have their food in 5 minutes, then you have more people coming in and you have more returns. And I also look at taking the business into other communities, not just Moncton, taking it to Fredericton, taking it to St. John, taking it to places where they need. I've seen people call in and ask for the. Do you deliver to St. John? Do you deliver to Fredericton? I'm like, no, we
Wow.
don't. We don't deliver to those areas. But those are the kind of things I'm looking at in the future to see how we can take the business to other places, other locations. If franchising is a good option, you're beginning to think of how to expand, how to make the food available for everybody that is willing to try it. Not like, okay, because I don't have it, that's not why I'm not trying, but you have it and you're able to try it because you want it. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I that's a beautiful vision for the future. We hope to see Dallas African Cuisine branch out to other cities throughout New Brunswick at some point. If
Yeah.
not through like franchises or partnerships with businesses like Sankara Market. I'm not sure if you've heard
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Um, Last question and quick or not quick, hopefully. We always ask our guests, and we forgot to ask you. I mean, how how was it coming to Moncton for you?
The journey to Moncton was, yeah, okay, that's my immigration story. I, well, I started the process for relocating to Canada, I think sometime in 2016 or before then. But I got the opportunity for New Brunswick after I went for an information session in Dubai. So I went there, went to Dubai. I got the invitation to go to Dubai, went to Dubai for the information session. Then thereafter, started my application process. And we got they call it ITA, invitation to apply to Moncton, or to New Brunswick, so to speak. So I applied to New Brunswick. And when you're applying, you'll you do some research to see which of the cities you want to go to. So
Hmm.
I did check the internet. I did see, oh, Moncton it's like lively. It has Africans, Nigerians, a lot of people coming into Moncton, and it was more like the Lagos of the Lagos of Nigeria. Even though it's not busy like that, but
Wouldn't go that far. Yeah, yeah.
so I was like,
Interesting.
okay, Moncton, yeah, Moncton, yeah, we'll go to Moncton. Moncton is like the place we plan to go to. So I went through the application process, and it took about for us, it took about 3 years waiting for the feedbacks and everything. And
Wow.
on the 28th of September 2018, we landed here, and we had family friends come pick us at the airport. So it was very well. The process was a long process for us, but coming in here was maybe about 2 days, the flights, and yeah,
Okay. And
we've been here. More, we've been here since then. So
did you feel well received when you came here? Did you were there any
yeah,
major shocks that you weren't expecting?
Oh, well, for me, because I already made up my mind, that was, it's a matter of your choice. You had
Hmm.
a place where you were. I was working. I had a good job. I was okay. I was working with the bank there, so I was. It wasn't like I wasn't comfortable, but there are cases of insecurity. I don't know if you've heard the story of Nigeria and the government. So there are cases. I mean,
A
insecurity.
little
So
bit. Yeah.
you're thinking of going to somewhere where you think is safer. You know, it's a mindset. I already made up my mind. I was relocating, and I sold my things. Myself and my husband, we sold everything we had, and brought the things that we felt we needed for myself, my husband, my kids. So we made up our mind to go. So like it's just like the story in the Bible. You're going like this. Don't look
Hmm.
back, because if you look back, it prevents you from actually getting to where you're going to. So
Yes.
there wasn't. I didn't. I was like, I'm gonna whatever I see, I was gonna accept. But there was really no shock for me, so to speak. People here were nice, or they are still nice. They're nice. They're friendly, and at work, people were friendly too. So I didn't really. I know people do have culture shock, but it was quite different for myself because I had a mindset of what I wanted and what I wanted to do. So uh, it was
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, Hillary and myself, and I know many others, are glad you're here and that people
Yes.
like you are creating unique businesses in New Brunswick that have
Hmm.
never existed before. That's part of the beauty of diversity. We get to have more infrastructure, more access to the world as more and more of the world come here.
Mhm.
Hillary's in Toronto, and I grew up in Toronto, and I can say personally, the more diverse New Brunswick gets, the more I feel at home. Um,
Yeah.
so we're going to wrap up now. It's been really refreshing speaking to you. I feel like our listeners are going to be so much more informed about their options of where they can go eat. And to all of our listeners, if you haven't already, like we like to remind people, hit either a subscribe button, like, follow button, make a comment, tell us what dish you want to try at Dallas African Cuisine. There's the website there, dallasafricancuisine.ca. Definitely make sure you follow Dallas African Cuisine on Instagram as well. They've got a beautiful page going there, and
Yeah, and they can
any
find us on DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Skip the Dishes. So if you can come, yeah, you can order online and have it delivered to your doorstep.
But not if you're in St. John or Fredericton.
Oh, no,
soon,
You're
no.
gonna have
soon,
to
soon
drive
come, soon
down.
come, soon come. Yeah, no, I was going to
Awesome.
ask if you had any additional plugs to put out there. So thank you. Do you have anything else
Yeah.
you want to wrap up with, Demi Lola? Any final
No,
thoughts? And same to you,
yeah,
Hillary.
yeah, no, nothing. I've been talking, so I'm just hoping to see people come visit Dallas, check us out on Instagram, like Clinton said. And yeah, if you have a dream, go for it. It's worth the risk and the try, even if at the end of the day you don't get to continue it. You can give someone to that is also thinking of the same thing to join you in it. You can partner, you can just go for it and talk to people and see who is willing and interested in what you're thinking about or planning to do, and it will come to pass with prayers and hard work.
Couldn't agree more.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, that's a perfect way to end the episode. There's nothing better to finish off an episode than that. Words of encouragement.
Okay. Well, thank you
Thank you
so
so much
much.
for being on.
I will see you next week. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.